Welcome back to Focus on Arts. Thanks for joining us again. My name is Patrick Van Slyke, and I'm your host. And today we have back one of my favorite guests, also my stepdad. So he kind of has to be my favorite guest, Jack Savage. Jack, thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you, Pat. It's my pleasure.
And I wanted to bring you in today because you have some interesting news for us.
Oh, I do. Yeah. And I also have some advice, because when you get a program like Focus on Art, you talk about people who are doing things with their art, and I would just like to tell you to never throw anything away.
Okay.
Because if you throw something away, then it's pretty much gone. And say you have some bad poetry. Never throw away bad poetry. It could become a hit record. If you don't believe me, go on YouTube and play the Duke of Earl.
Okay, well, let me ask you, what about an empty beer can?
An empty beer can. Andy Warhol might have something to say about an empty beer can. Of course, he was Andy Warhol. And by the time he became Andy Warhol, he could take anything and make art.
Yes, right. Here we have my art. Do you love it? It's special.
So I'm going to tell you a story about this guy today.
Now, you brought in some beautiful art.
Okay. This picture is called Bergie. And what happened was I took a little sketch with a ballpoint pen, and I made Bergie. And then I tore it off, and it's the size of a postage stamp. And so I kept it in my wallet for many, many years, and somehow it didn't get thrown away. So I decided to put it in the copier. You know how you do when you're at work all alone. Yeah. And I blew it up and blew it up and blew it up. And then I said, you know, I kind of like this distraction around here that were imperfections in the glass of the copier. So I think I'm going to redraw it and make it big. And it was kind of right at the beginning of when I started to do my artwork.
Now, let me ask you a question about that. You said you did this at work when you were alone?
Yeah.
Did you photograph your butt?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't,
no. Well, not on that day.
You didn't sit on the photocopier and make...
Not on that day. No.
All right.
No.
Okay, well, it's just a question, you know.
But if you did, don't throw that away either. Because you never know.
Right.
All right. Now, if you will take a look at this book, which was my first book, and it's called Bumping and Other Stories. It's a collection of my short stories. You will see that there's a little dog, and from memory, without looking at the picture, I tried to kind of recreate him in this.
Now, is this the Fergie that's in the Black Eyed Peas?
No. No. Bergie. And
Bergie.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the genesis of Bergie was, when I first came out here to California, there were only 4 or 5 brands of beer, and one of them was Burgermeister.
Oh.
And he called him Bergie. We wound up calling him Mutt, and he was a great dog, and didn't come to a good end. But anyway, this all happened in Vietnam. Now, you should keep your work and always remember that someday you might put together a collection. See, I'm 67. Yeah. I got a bucket list now, man.
Right.
If you think of life as a football game, don't think I'm at the 2-minute warning. But I think the marching band's been off the field for quite a while now. So I'm closer to the end than the beginning, and I want to kind of put together some stuff that I've done. My writing, seven books, which you can find at wjacksavage.com or on Amazon under that name as well. But my art, and this is a touchy subject because my wife one day said, look, you're an all right writer, but you're a much better artist. Well, I didn't like that.
Yes.
But she's turned out to be right, so I really hate that.
She usually is right, and neither of us like it that much.
No, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that's what that's life.
Now it's years later.
Yes.
As I said, the dog, Vietnam, right? Okay. I joined a site, 1st Cavalry Division, Vietnam 1st Cavalry. I was with the 1st Cavalry.
And where is this site at?
On Facebook.
On Facebook. Okay, I understand.
And so I paint quite a bit now. I've had 331 pictures published.
That's an incredible number.
In literary magazines. I know, she was right.
And how long have you been painting?
Literary magazines. Well, this time, I've been an artist all my life, but I'd leave it alone for 10, 12 years.
Yes, right.
And then I come back and do a few things, get bored, and move on. Now I'm doing it with some regularity,
Yes.
and it's getting better, and it's evolving, and what have you. But if you would have told me 330 literary magazines,
Yeah.
including about 10 covers,
Right.
would have my art on them, I would say you're crazy.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible
Right.
feat. It
So
really is.
now I'm in Vietnam 1st Air Cavalry,
On
1st
Facebook.
Cavalry on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I have a picture, and it's two guys walking through what I felt was the Aisha Valley. I was there too, and
Now, were those guys like Brokeback Mountain guys or
no,
regular
no,
guys?
these were soldiers.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Well, soldiers can be like.
And they're
Brokeback
walking
Mountain
through the
guys.
jungle, and they got, and I thought, this isn't too bad. I think I'm going to put it up
Yeah,
on the site.
yeah, that makes
So I
sense.
put it up on the site, and what happens? There's a guy who teaches history at a prestigious private college in Chicago, who's also a Vietnam veteran. And he says, wow, man, you really, picture tells 1,000 words.
Yeah, that's
And we
great.
get talking, this and that, and the next thing. Now, I've never had an art show.
Right.
I was
Yes.
hoping for something here in Monrovia, maybe one of the little galleries.
Right.
And, put it up for a week and go and
See what happens.
Yeah, see
Yeah.
what happens. Because I also have a book of my art, too.
Right. Did you
And-
bring that book, by the way?
No, I didn't. I brought
Okay.
this book.
And where can you see that book of art that you
Oh,
made?
any wjacksavage.com
Okay.
or Amazon.
Okay, it's available
Yeah,
either place.
yeah.
Okay, very good. And what's the name of it?
It's called Imagination,
Okay.
the Art of W. Jack Savage.
Okay, very good. All right, continue.
Took me a long time to come up with that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It's really deep.
Okay, so anyway, we get talking, and he goes into my site, and he takes a look at all my art. And what's going to happen is I'm going to have an art show in late April and May
Big news.
at, if everything goes well,
Right,
at Columbia College, Chicago,
right.
prestigious fine art college
Amazing.
on Michigan Avenue. I know,
Yeah, amazing.
I know, amazing.
Totally cool.
And so here it is, the beginning of 2015. I'll be 67 next month. Thanks for the socks, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. I already gave him
And-
his present. It's a bunch of socks.
And
I'm a student. I don't have a lot of money.
I'll be up in Chicago with real art gallery people,
Yeah, right.
showing this thing. And that's because I didn't throw things away. Don't
Yeah.
throw things away. You wouldn't believe. I got a sketch that's called The Swan Wins Air Guitar. They're using it for the cover of their magazine. I says, you've got to be kidding.
Now, let me ask you a question. Are you a bit nervous about this trip to Chicago? Is there any nerves?
Yeah, well, only in the sense that when you look forward to something,
Yeah.
you know that you're going to get to a point when you wish it was over before it happens.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, right.
and all pulled off good.
Yeah.
But only in that sense.
in that
Otherwise, I would like to people to see my art. That's
Yeah.
what I care about.
Now, you already had, you've already done a signing before.
Yes,
This.
had a book signing.
Okay. Tell
And-
us about that.
Okay, well, a friend was walking by this little bookstore, and she stopped in. He says, yeah, I would like to feature some St. Paul, Minnesota, and Twin Cities authors. And she said, I happen to know one.
Oh, okay.
And I called him up, and he put out flyers, and we had a lot of people from my old high school, which is about 6 blocks away,
And the St. Paul.
come up in St. Paul.
Okay.
I sold a few.
Yeah, right.
But if you're interested in selling books, here's something I've learned. If I had it
do
to
it.
do over again, this was my first book, I would have gotten 100 copies, and I would have given them away. Just given them away. Word of mouth is the best way to get started. Don't think you're going to get your money back. Publish it, get out there, give it to people who read.
If you do a dance on YouTube and it goes viral, that's another way to sell a lot of books.
Well, that's true.
So
If you can dance.
yeah, or well,
Yeah.
I mean, of
Well,
course, that
right.
goes without saying.
Yeah.
So
You know, I can't.
and you're an amazing dancer.
Yes. No, I'm not. Not for many years, certainly.
Okay.
So just get it out there. Get it in the hands of the people who read it. And that's the only way you're really, in this day and age,
Yes.
going to be successful and start to get
Right.
some talk about your work.
It is interesting because with art, with paintings, it only requires one glance for somebody to fall in love with it. With a book, you actually have to get them involved in the writing,
Right.
which
and
is more difficult.
pretty quickly.
Yes,
Right.
right, or else they're not going to look at
Well,
it.
I'm publishing two more books this year.
Okay.
A novel I've been staring at for 2 years, and I just tired of staring at it. So I think I'm going to start over again and use what I can, and
sure.
change it up. But the other is just little musings that I have about the neighborhood,
Right.
where I grew up, and
Now let me
whatnot.
ask you: are you going to leave in the crazy rants about politics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to stay away from those, like the flu, because someone will just make a remark,
And let me tell
we
you-
won't even pigeonhole what in general.
I live with this man,
And-
and when every once in a while you'll hear from the office just these angry yells and just, oh, these idiots, and how dare they say that?
And like I said,
It's hilarious.
I'm 67. I could go off
Yeah,
like
he
that.
could. I expect to find him.
Stress
Yeah.
is a killer.
Right, absolutely.
So I have to stay away from that.
yeah, you really do get angry.
Yeah, but I do, and so I try to stay out of that.
I think that's smart. Yeah,
And
because you're not going to change anybody's opinion.
no,
No. Everybody's opinion is set, and all you're doing is just making yourself angry.
yes, and it's not my fault
Right.
that they're misinformed idiots.
Right. No, it's
So,
not.
anyway.
And it's not your job to.
That doesn't matter. So I have to stay away from the negative,
Mhm.
and continue doing what I do,
Yeah.
which is painting and writing, and
So how many of the things that you've posted on Facebook do you have now that you're going to turn into that book of musings? How many of those? Do you know?
oh, in the book, I
Yeah.
have 60 pictures.
No, I'm sorry.
In the
I'm
book,
sorry.
you're talking about the art show.
No, I'm talking about the book that you're going to put together with the stuff,
Oh.
things that you've
Oh,
written on Facebook. How many of those do you have?
Oh, God, I have about 160, so I'm going to probably
Oh,
try
wow.
to take about 80
Okay.
and,
Put them into a.
stay away from the heart attack politics stuff.
Right, yeah,
And just
yeah.
put,
That'll be great.
yeah, and they're pretty good. It's a nice read,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
and it's just, I have a good memory, and I might as well use it while I still have it.
Right. Yeah, because it is going.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
And we know that because he refuses to close any of the cupboard doors.
Yes. No, I do that on purpose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to piss
You
your.
just can't
just
cave
to-
in to your wife. I've told you that
Okay,
1,000
yeah.
times.
You gotta make a stand.
You gotta make a stand.
And your stand is at the cupboard doors.
Yeah.
He leaves them open on purpose.
The cupboard doors, right?
I don't know.
Well, with some people it's the toilet seat. and
Yeah,
the
right.
cupboard doors is mine.
Okay. Yeah, it does make her really
Yeah,
incredibly
it
angry.
does. Right.
So anyway, what is going on with what have they asked you for at the on the trip to Chicago?
Chicago.
Yeah, so-
Well, now you're dealing with politics of another kind. Okay. This guy is a history professor there, but the art department is something else.
I
Now we're dealing political waters.
Okay.
And he says, I said, listen, I was in radio 35 years. I understand.
You bet.
I'll give them 50 pictures. I'll let them pick.
Yeah.
I won't, I'm not 13. I
Right.
don't need to have my way anymore.
Okay.
I just want them to take what they feel
All right.
would be most representative. And that's what we're going to do it.
Okay.
And
Well, that sounds great. I'm sorry. This is very, very interesting, and we're going to have to continue this at home.
Yes.
Or not.
Or
You
not.
know,
Or not.
Because,
It's fine. Yeah.
You do have a tendency to get belligerently drunk, and it makes it difficult on me.
It's not true. The drunk part's true.
Yes.
Belligerent, no,
Okay, all
not
right.
at all.
Well, Jack, thank you so much for once again coming on my show. I
my
really
pleasure.
do appreciate it. You are a wonderful man
My
and
pleasure.
a great artist. And we would like to thank you for once again joining us on Focus on Arts. Our next guest is going to be just as wonderful, if not more wonderful than Jack. So please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.